Now, the U.S. is pressuring North Korea to stop its nuclear threats. U.S. defense officials say an American carrier strike group is headed toward the Korean peninsula. What's that? A strike group is a formation of Navy assets, and this one includes the aircraft carrier that you see right here.
This is not an unusual military move. The U.S. regularly deploys aircraft carriers to the Korean peninsula as a show of force. Our Alexander Field joins us now from Seoul, South Korea. There's never typical times in this region for sure, Alexander, but this certainly atypical times there.
Atypical indeed, Natalie. Let's put this into perspective, though. You did mention that aircraft carriers are in the region on a somewhat frequent basis. In fact, this aircraft carrier, the USS Vinson, was in the region just last month for joint military drills that were being conducted between the U.S. and South Korea. What is, of course, significant here is the fact that a U.S. official has come forward and said that the aircraft carrier has returned because of the recent provocations from North Korea. We're talking, of course, about a series of missile tests, one earlier in the week, the Scud missile test that apparently, to some extent, the officials are saying broke up about 30 miles into its flight. But there have been 4 missile tests from North Korea just this year. It is a clear acceleration of North Korea's mission to test these missiles. We've also seen missile engine tests that have been going on since the first of the year. Also a clear effort to continue to develop the technology here. We know it is the long-term goal, of course, of North Korea to equip a long-range missile with a nuclear warhead. This ratcheting up of tension here on the peninsula, this ratcheting up, this acceleration of tests has prompted strong reaction from South Korean officials and also clearly from officials in the U.S. who are considering this to be a serious threat, serious enough to move the USS Vinson into the region. Of course, what is significant really about putting that aircraft carrier there are the optics of it. It is clearly designed to be a show of force, a way to send a clear message to North Korea. Natalie?
And what about the dialogue between the new Trump administration and South Korea there? We know Donald Trump has met with the Chinese leader just recently there in Florida.
And we've heard President Donald Trump say repeatedly that it is China's responsibility to apply more pressure, to enforce sanctions, to exercise the leverage it has over North Korea in order to get them to abandon either their missile program and their nuclear ambitions and intentions. But Donald Trump has had some strong words again in the last few weeks, recently telling another newspaper that if China wasn't going to handle the North Korea problem, that the U.S. would. We do know, of course, that U.S. President Donald Trump and the Chinese leader Xi Jinping did meet earlier this week. The topic of North Korea, certainly an important one between these two leaders. After that, we know that President Trump did speak to the acting president of South Korea to impart some of the discussion that he had with President Xi, saying that they talked a lot about North Korean issues, that President Trump reaffirmed the importance of the U.S. and South Korean alliance, and that he clearly tried to explain to China the reasons that the U.S. and South Korea have agreed to move forward with the deployment of the THAAD missile defense system, something that has irked China previously. Natalie?
Thank you. Alexander Field reporting live for us from Seoul.
And joining us now for more on this is Han Park, professor of international affairs at the University of Georgia, author of North Korea Demystified. You're a leading expert on the North Korean peninsula. What does it tell you that the U.S. is sending a Navy carrier strike group to the peninsula? That's a lot of firepower.
Very scary. In fact, North Korea will not relinquish its nuclear weapons because the nuclear capability is its legitimization instrument as opposed to military weapons. Without the nuclear capability, nuclear bombs, North Korean regime will lose its legitimacy against the people. So they're not going to give it up that easily. So this means that North Koreans may be led to believe that something is coming by way of military attack from the United States. Then North Koreans may try to do something before that happens. So that certainly means military confrontation.
Are you saying this could increase the risk of not just tensions, but conflict, actual conflict in the region?
Yes, it will be conflict. The conflict will be truly a disaster. Millions of people will be killed, and North Korean military regime will steal still be alive. So the United States will be unable to accomplish its goal in the military means. So there is no point in threatening North Korea more than we're doing now. North Koreans believe that Americans have issued an ultimatum and actually declaration of war. If North Koreans believe that before their attack, they may want to do something offensively, that would certainly mean terrible military disaster.
Mr. Park, do you see a connection between the U.S. striking Syria, as it did 2 days ago, and the U.S. now sending reinforcements near North Korea? Is there a ripple effect there from one crisis spot to another?
Yeah, I think so, because North Koreans believe that the administration in Washington is more inclined to use military means than diplomacy than the previous regimes. If that's the case, then having this military action against Syria may be believed to be a prelude to North Korean military actions elsewhere. That elsewhere means North Korea. So yes, they are related. The North Koreans will find further justification for their armament, especially nuclearization. So this will not work this way. If we're going to denuclearize North Korea, we have to replace the security paradigm with the peace paradigm. We have talked to them. We have worked with them and provide what they want to a certain extent and get what we want. So that's a possibility.
All right, replace the security paradigm with a peace paradigm. Han Park, thank you so much for your insights. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. Well.